After witnessing her father's murder, young Eve is trained by the secretive Ruska Roma to become a deadly ballerina assassin. Years later, she hunts the cult responsible for her family's death, navigating betrayal, deadly missions, and shocking revelations, including the sister she never knew, while facing impossible odds and relentless enemies. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more movie recaps like this. Now let's dive in. It begins at sunset as Eve, still a young girl, stands near the river practicing dance steps with her father, Javier. He watches her movements and tells her how much she has grown and how much she looks like her sister. The thought makes her sad because she has not seen her sister, so Javier tries to comfort her by giving her a dancing doll. Night falls, and Eve sits quietly with the doll while Javier goes into the bathroom. Suddenly, a group of men enters the place where they live. They take down the guards and head straight for Javier. He reacts on time and fights back, but more men keep advancing. He throws smoke grenades so he can escape without being seen. He runs to Eve, takes her, and hides her in a safe spot. As he steps forward, he is attacked and knocked down. A man enters and faces Javier. He speaks about how he once married a woman from their tribe who is now gone, and how Javier ran away with the child, thinking he had escaped. The man is the chancellor of their tribe. He demands to know where Eve is, but Javier refuses. This angers the chancellor, and he orders his men to hit him. Javier still refuses to say anything. The chancellor then brings out a gun with a single bullet and places it in Javier's hand. He makes it clear that Javier must either end his own life so his daughter can live, or both of them will die. Javier raises the gun and is close to pulling the trigger when Eve calls out to him. The sound draws the chancellor's attention. Javier reacts fast and shoots the men around him, but one man tackles him to the ground and tries to stab him. Eve comes out, picks up a gun from the floor, and shoots the attacker. Javier runs to her as she cries. He rushes her out of the house and sets an explosive bomb on their way out. As they move forward, he is shot, and once they reach outside, he collapses and dies. Later, Eve meets Winston. He tells her he can take her to where her family is. Through her sadness, she agrees to go with him. They arrive at a place where Winston tells Eve to meet the director, while he stays behind to speak with Nogi. Eve meets the director, who already knows she is a dancer. The director feels pity for her and offers her simple encouragement. Eve returns to Winston and explains what happened. They feel relieved because the director says Eve belongs to the Ruska Roma. Winston then gives her a coin she can use to request his service in the future. Eve asks if Nogi knew her father, and Nogi says she did. She explains that Javier was a Ruska Roma and that a spirit followed him. It was called the Kikimora, a spirit that stays close to anyone who carries darkness but protects those who are innocent. 12 years pass. Eve practices her ballerina steps again and again, falling many times as she works to get them right. She injures her foot, and the director tells her to treat it and inform Tatiana that she is next. She does what she is told. Tatiana sees the injury and asks why Eve pushes herself so hard. Eve explains that she only wants to be ready. Training continues in every area. Fighting, shooting, dancing, and searching. Everything is used to prepare the students. During one session, Eve struggles, and the boy she trains with beats her badly. This angers Nogi, and she charges at Eve, telling her she must take her victory in any way she can. Eve corrects her mistakes and fights again, striking the boy until she wins. Training ends, and she returns to her room, but cannot find Tatiana. She runs to the director, who tells her Tatiana is not qualified for the Ruska Roma. Eve becomes upset and says she is ready herself. The director brings her to a room and explains that this is her final stage of training to know how prepared she is. They bring a woman into the room, and the test begins. The woman assembles her gun quickly, but before she can fire, she strikes the woman down, remembering what happened the night her father died. Later that day, Eve watches the ballerina doll as it spins. She hears yelling and sees the director. She sneaks closer and sees her cresting the Ruska Roma tattoo on the back of the Baba Yaga. She steps closer and asks him how she can leave. He warns her that the door will soon be locked, and the choice to stay or go is hers. To be fully accepted, she is sent on a mission to protect a girl whose father is their main charge. Nogi explains everything she must know. Nogi gives Eve a gun with rubber bullets and sends her out. The girl dances at the party as Eve arrives. Everything seems normal, and Eve tells Nogi the same. Then a man approaches the girl, pretending to be friendly. Eve notices immediately and runs to protect her. The man blocks her path, and they start fighting. Gunshots ring out while the party continues. At one point, Eve loses sight of her target. She searches and sees him taking the girl away. She moves toward them, reaches for an object, and strikes him in the stomach. Eve runs to the terrified girl. She reassures her that she is safe. Later that night, the Ruska Roma tattoo is drawn on Eve's back, marking her as one of them. 2 months pass. Eve has become a skilled Ruska Roma, eliminating targets with bounties on their heads. After one mission, she walks past bodies on the ground. At the elevator, a group waits for her. She addresses them and leaves. She enters a car and drives away until another car crashes into hers. Eve gets out, and so does the man. They shoot at each other. At one point, he strikes her with an axe. She overpowers him, takes the axe, and strikes him down. As she turns to leave, she notices a mark on his hand. She remembers the same mark from the man who killed her father years ago. To confirm it, she cuts off his hand and takes it to the director. Her anger rises as she questions the director, knowing these people well but never having mentioned them. The director tells her not to go after them, warning that it will only bring bloodshed between the two tribes. Eve nods, but inside, she does not agree. Later, Eve goes to a hotel and asks to see the manager, Winston. She wants to know which tribe killed her father and where they are located. Winston tries to stop her, but she gives him the coin he gave her as a child, leaving him no choice. He explains that the people belong to a cult that kills for sport. Their exact location is unknown because anyone who searches for them never returns. He adds that they are monitored through the hotel when members check in. At that moment, one of them is in a hotel. Eve asks for more details. Winston tells her to follow him. He makes a call and receives information. The man is named Daniel Pine and is in room 315 at the Pregal Hotel. Winston wishes her luck and leaves. Eve goes to the hotel and pays for the room next to Pine. A woman at the reception hears her and informs the spies monitoring Pine to stay alert, knowing Eve is next door. Eve enters her room, sneaks through the back window, and reaches Pine's room. Inside, she sees Ella, Pine's daughter. She hears the sound of a gun being set and turns to see Pine. They move quickly, but the sniper informs Lena about the situation. Lena calls the bounty management to increase Pine's bounty. Once the other killers get the alert, they hurry to his location. Before anything else happens, they hear loud kicks on the door. Pine has set a gun trap at the entrance. When the intruders break through, it fires and kills one of them. The rest open fire, and both Pine and Eve return fire. Pine escapes quickly with his daughter, leaving Eve behind. He heads for the elevator, but notices someone coming out, so he changes direction and enters another room. 2 men stand ready to fight. He shoots the first and wraps the second in a nylon sheet before shooting him as well. Eve later sees Pine and his daughter, and the 3 enter the elevator together. Pine asks Eve to protect his daughter. She refuses at first, but then agrees. They leave the elevator and see men waiting at the hotel exit. Eve holds the girl close while Pine fires shots in the air, causing everyone nearby to scatter. As they try to leave, a man attacks Pine from behind. Ella tries to run to her father, but Eve pulls her back. Lena suddenly appears, strikes Eve, and takes Ella away. Lena travels with others toward the Chancellor. She calls him to report that they have Ella and mentions Eve, who tried to stop them. The receptionist gathers his security team and points guns at Eve and 2 others. After studying them, he sees that Eve is not guilty. He orders his men to shoot only the other 2 and tells Eve she is free to go. Eve then goes to a shop and meets a dealer. She asks him about the tribe with the X mark on their hands, but he denies knowing anything. She tells him she is preparing for something dangerous. He shows her the shop and displays many sizes of weapons. She insists on large ones and keeps looking until she finds the right choice. Suddenly, gunshots ring out and armed men enter. Eve rushes into a room and searches until she finds bombs. She throws one at the approaching men, exploding that area. She fights another attacker until she gains the upper hand. She finds the dealer. After confirming that the attack came from the X tribe, the dealer revealed where they were. He told Eve they were deep in the mountains and that anyone who went there never returned. She needs a car, and he gives her one. Eve drives toward the group responsible for her father's death. She receives a call from the director, who tells her she has disobeyed orders and should not be hunting those people. She is told to return, but Eve ends the call. She stops at a restaurant and stares at the doll. The waitress asks what she wants, and Eve orders coffee. She notices a van parked outside and grows suspicious. A man stands in front of the restaurant and shoots at her. She dodges, and people run in fear. Eve fights the man while the waitress hides in a corner and calls for help. The man slams Eve on a table several times and against the glass, almost weakening her. She rises, breaks his hand, and shoots him. She approaches the waitress, who holds a knife. Eve tries to convince her, but the waitress attacks. They fight, rolling plates across the floor and using them as weapons. Eve aims her gun, and the waitress runs into a room, which Eve locks. More attackers arrive with advanced weapons. They open fire while Eve adjusts her gun. She takes out several of them but is eventually brought down. Just when it seems all hope is gone, she shoots the waitress and another attacker before fleeing the scene. Meanwhile, the Chancellor assigns someone to monitor all of Eve's moves. After receiving intel, he orders the community to hunt her down. Eve reaches the main city but is attacked multiple times. She overcomes many of them until a couple bring her down. Lena arrives, sees the tattoo on Eve's back, and knocks her unconscious. Eve sits tied to a chair while the Chancellor speaks with Ella, but everything he says upsets the little girl. Lena walks in and tells the Chancellor they have captured Eve, and that she is a Ruska Roma, confirmed by the tattoo on her back. The Chancellor leaves to meet Eve, taking a seat near her. Eve insists that the Ruska Roma had nothing to do with what is happening, but he refuses to believe her. She feels sorrow and anger over what he did to her father. A sudden memory strikes the Chancellor, reminding him that he killed her father and that she has come for revenge. He rushes out to tell Lena, and in that moment, Lena realizes that Eve is her sister. They are still talking when gunshots ring through the hall. They turn and see Eve running. Lena follows her. The Chancellor calls after her, but she does not stop. Eve and Lena rush into a room. Eve is about to pull the trigger when Lena speaks. Eve realizes that Lena is the sister she never knew. The Chancellor ordered his men to watch the sisters closely, and then gave the command to eliminate them. His men threw explosives into the house. Eve managed to escape the blast, but Lena could not. Eve ran to her dying sister, heartbroken that they had no time together. Lena took her final breath. The men entered to confirm the sisters were dead, but Eve struck from the shadows and killed them one by one. She found a phone, answered it, and heard the Chancellor asking if they were dead. She told him nothing would be settled until he was gone. The Chancellor called the director of the Ruska Roma, demanding she call off Eve before midnight or face war. She agreed to send someone after her. Nogi pleaded with her to show mercy since Eve was one of them, but she refused. Not long after, the Chancellor saw Baba Yaga approaching and told his men to hold fire until midnight. Eve was resting in a corner when she heard footsteps. She turned and saw Baba Yaga and assumed he had been sent to kill her. She reminded him of his earlier words about choosing whether to leave or stay. Before they could continue, Eve fired at him, but he dodged. A fight broke out, and Yaga overpowered her, holding a blade to her neck and telling her to leave. She refused. Seeing her determination, he told her to eliminate her target before midnight, or he would have to kill her. Eve got up, went to a spy, stabbed him, and threw him off a cliff. The Chancellor saw this and issued more orders to kill the Ruska Roma sister. Eve left that area and entered a building where more men came for her. She shot the first two, but another attacked her with punches and kicks, causing her gun to fall. She grabbed a knife and killed him. More attackers surrounded her, but she fought through them. The Chancellor, watching everything, realized Eve would come for him and Ella. He sent a man to find and destroy her. Other attackers continued searching. Eve appeared from hiding with a flamethrower, setting them all on fire. Outside, she faced the man the Chancellor sent, who also had a flamethrower. They fired at each other, dodging each other's attacks. More men arrived, but the flames consumed them. Eve and the man continued exchanging fire with no clear winner. She ran outside and took out another group of attackers with a flamethrower. One spy warned the Chancellor that he needed to relocate because Eve was coming. The man attacked Eve, but she jumped inside a building, located a water pump, and doused the flames. She felt weak, giving him a chance to strike. Baba Yaga saw midnight approaching, fired, and killed the man instantly. More attackers tried to kill Yaga, but he overpowered them. Eve spotted the Chancellor trying to flee. She ran ahead, shot his vehicle to stop it, and killed the driver as he stepped out. The Chancellor tried to speak, insisting nothing would change, and the city would remain the same. Eve noticed Yaga aiming at her. Before he could act, she shot him and ended it. She then took Ella and left. Later, the director called Yaga to confirm if Eve was gone. He replied that the Chancellor was dead. Eve took Ella back to her father and then went to the hotel to meet Winston. He warned her that while she had eliminated the head of the threat, the rest still lived and could come after her. A few days later, a bounty was placed on Eve, making her a target for all tribes. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.